Hi everyone, Misty here. Welcome to a weigh-in and update video for October 2018. If you're new here, hello, welcome. This video is going to be, I'm probably going to cry. It's going to be, I feel like my last few videos have left me feeling very vulnerable, and I don't think that this one's going to be any different. I just have a lot to talk about, and so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So for those of you who are new, I started keto on March 3rd, 6th, 2017 at 425 pounds. My lowest weight since doing keto was 359, and today I'm weighing in at 373. So this is the highest regain I've had since I've been doing keto. And it's not a surprising thing. I've mentioned in the past that I've been dealing with some of the worst depression that I've ever had in my whole entire life. And unfortunately with that, I've just kind of allowed myself to medicate with food. And my therapist will tell you there are worse things to medicate with. And I guess I kind of agree with that. But I guess my biggest frustration has been that I just haven't cared enough to do anything about anything. And I don't want to be like that anymore. For those of you who are new and those of you who've been around for a while, you may not know this, but I'm not losing weight because I don't, like I hate being fat, or I hate my body, or I feel like I want to be thin, or like thin is not the end goal for me. I need to have surgery on my back, and my neurosurgeon mentioned that he wanted me as close to 200 pounds as I could get before he would consider an operation. And so that's kind of my goal weight. 200 is my goal weight. And in comparison, that's still really kind of big. So it's not a vanity thing. I need, a surgery that will help me maintain my mobility, especially dealing with the Myasthenia gravis on top of it, which is a neurological autoimmune disease. So it's been rough. The last 6 months of my life have been some of the roughest, and I have put my physical health on the back burner, trying to deal with getting my mental health back in check. And it's time to kind of reverse that order. As far as my mental health, I'm still dealing with depression. I don't know that I feel like it's any better or any worse. I think at this point, it just kind of is what it is. I think I mentioned in the last video that I feel like this is maybe part of the grieving process because, I lost my job, I got a diagnosis, got my handicap plates. Like, I'm kind of still grieving the life that I had and the life that I was expecting to have. And so if I continue to think of it that way, and that's probably what this is, then I know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm to the point now where it's just like, I'm just going to try to fake it until I make it, just put one foot in front of the other and try to do my best to just get my life back on track and going the way that I need it to go. So, and the only way that I can do that is if I am, working on my physical health as well as my mental health. So, I meant to film this on Sunday, but we had friends come over, and I had a really bad weekend with the Myasthenia. I think I mentioned that I started Farxiga at the beginning of September, and I don't know if this is true. I won't know until I see my neurologist, but I think there may be an ingredient in that medication that is causing the muscle weakness to worsen, because honestly, my symptoms feel like before I was even diagnosed and on medication. I mean, I feel like I'm back to square one, and it was not a good place to be. I mean, I had issues feeding myself, brushing my teeth, getting a shower, getting dressed, doing my hair. So it's not an easy journey at all. And what's unfortunate about that is the Farxiga is working. I think the last time I told you guys it had been a week, And I had some concerns because it's a sister drug to Invokana, and Invokana scares the holy crap out of me. But Farxiga has been good. Now, I have not been good. The last 2 weeks, I've just had a case of the I don't give a craps, and I basically eated whatever I wanted to. Whatever. Eated. That's not even a word, Misty. Come on now. So, but yesterday, Monday the 1st, I started again. And my goal starting yesterday, there are 92 days left in the year. And my goal is to spend the next 92 days staying on plan. And that means no cheat days, no cheat meals. I don't even really want to label it because it's going to be a mixture of like lazy keto, carnivore, I'm just going to eat whatever I'm in the mood to eat and stay under 20 carbs. So you're probably going to see me tracking, but at the same time, I'm really tracking for carbohydrates and fat. I want to make sure that my fat is always more than my protein. But my protein may be high. And like I have my calories set at 2,000. And again, I don't plan on eating 2,000 calories a day. There may be some days that I do where I have a ribeye for dinner or something like that. But, I'm not so concerned with calories as I am more with the carbs. And that's because I feel like I'm kind of starting from scratch. And I've always said that if you're going keto or if you're going Atkins or if you're doing something where it requires you to be very low carb and you've never done that in the past, I suggest that you start and you focus on just going low carb for a while. And then once you get that out of the way, then you can add in the other things. So, my number one goal is just to get back into ketosis and to start getting my weight to go back down. So, October is a busy month for me as far as doctor's appointments. Like next Monday, I see my regular doctor for the diabetes checkup. Tuesday, I see my neurologist. I go see my endocrinologist like on the 15th. So it's a busy month for me as far as doctor's appointments, but to me that's good because I can see everybody within a short period of time and we can all be on the same page about my care going forward. I feel like I'm doing fine on the Cymbalta. Started that almost 2 months ago now, I think. 6 weeks ago. I don't remember. I don't, like I said, I still feel like I'm suffering with depression. I mean, I'll always have depression, but this episode, I feel like I'm on the downhill, like, it's not nearly as bad as it was. It's still not easy, but I am feeling better, and that's all I can hope for going forward, is that I just continue to feel better. That's just mainly what it is. So as far as food, like I mentioned, mostly carnivore, like that's kind of where my brain is. But I'm still gonna have coffee. I'm still gonna have like stevia. I have a Starbucks this morning. I've had a headache for 2 days. I think it's just lack of caffeine. So I went and got an iced coffee, and I have them put Splenda in it. So that's, a sweetener that some people may or may not be able to tolerate. And I've mentioned in the past that I consider my Starbucks a meal replacement because it has a lot of heavy cream in it, whether if it has butter. And same thing with my bulletproof coffee. That is a meal replacement for me. I'm drinking calories instead of eating calories. Speaking of eating, Farxiga is supposed to help you lose weight, and I feel like it's having the absolute opposite effect on me. I'm hungry from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed. And in fact, if I don't eat like 3 or 4 times during the day, I end up getting really nauseous. Nauseated. I feel like I just don't feel well. So I try to keep something on my stomach, going forward. I can't eat as soon as I wake up because the mycophenolate I'm on, I have to wait an hour after taking that to eat. So being able to have some kind of calories in my stomach does help. But yeah, so going forward, I am vlogging every day. So this is kind of my plan. I'm going to vlog every single day. So 7 days a week. And I'm just showing my food and my blood sugar. There's not going to be any other fluff in it unless I'm just chatty Cathy and in the mood to talk to the camera. I haven't decided on how often I'm going to weigh, just because the scale doesn't necessarily tell you everything that's going on with your weight loss journey. And I may start measuring. Like, I don't know. I'm just right now, like, I'm trying not to set anything too lofty for myself. It's like I just want to commit to 92 days, 91 days now. Yesterday went fine. I was able to do it, and today I want to get back to the point where it was when I very first started keto, where I was, dealing with everything well. And I honestly think that my brain is just burnt out mentally and emotionally. I mean, 2017 was a rough year for me. 2018 has been a little bit of a rough year. I mean, April to now has just been one thing after another. And my brain, I feel like my brain is just like, I can't take anything else. Like, I cannot take anything else. So it's just been really, really hard. But at the same time, like I said, it's like I can't keep putting this off. I don't want to regain everything that I've lost. I don't want to have to start completely from scratch back at 425 pounds, or God forbid 430 pounds or 450 pounds. I don't want to go in that direction again. And I have to get back out of the habit of using food as a crutch, food as, a way to medicate, food as, I just have to get away from that. I have to stop binging. And most people who have a binge eating disorder have that disorder for their life. It's not something that just goes away. It's something that you have to deal with. And like I said, I have to, even if I don't feel it, I have to start faking it until I make it, because I just cannot afford to go back. I just can't afford to go backwards. And I want to keep moving forward. And like I said, I'm not going to sit down and say, I'm going to do strict keto, or I'm going to eat only this way. I'm going to eat, I love mushrooms, and I love zucchini, and I love salads, and sometimes those things agree with me because I don't have a gallbladder, and sometimes they don't. And so if there's a day where I'm like, okay, I just want hamburger meat, I'm going to eat just hamburger meat. If there's a day where I'm like, I want a chicken salad, I'm going to have a chicken salad. If there are days where I want, a Philly cheesesteak pizza, I'm going to have a Philly cheesesteak pizza. So it's like, it's not something that I'm going to be so super strict about, and I'm going to only eat one way. And that's the best thing about keto, is because there are so many different ways to do it, so many different ways to set your fat grams. You can do lazy keto, you can do carnivore. Even if you do carnivore, it's still considered keto if you're having more fat than you are protein. Or not protein, more fat than you're having. Like, it's a low carb, high fat diet, and carnivore is low carb, high fat. So, like I said, I'm not going to put any kind of real label on it. My goal is to stay under 20 grams of carbs every day and keep my fat above my protein. That's kind of where I am right now. And I know there's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of misinformation about protein and glycogenesis or whatever, and also about the fact that if you're overweight that you don't need more fat. So I encourage you to do your own research, because, saying that your body doesn't need fat when you're already fat is not necessarily the case. And at the end of the day, you kind of have to play around with keto or play around with any way of eating and make it work for you. It's not cookie cutter for anybody. Like, I am the type of person who is basically allergic to carbohydrates. I cannot, even when I'm not doing keto, even when I was doing paleo or Whole30, I couldn't have some of the foods that, like sweet potatoes or something like that, where it's a low glycemic index food, but it's still carby for me and raises my blood sugar. So at the end of the day, you kind of have to individualize how you're eating and what you're eating and make it work for you. And that's kind of what I'm doing. So I do hope to film weekly updates. That's one thing I want to get back into doing. I am sharing, my meals of the day on YouTube and on Instagram. So it may get a lot, but that's what's going to keep me, it's what's going to help me stay accountable. Like having someone to be accountable to, I hope with all my heart and soul that this will be what I need to push myself to just keep going and stop reverting back to bad eating habits and, stop. I have to get back to where I'm not finding pleasure in food, where I'm using food for fuel. And that, I think a lot of that has to do with, my way of thinking and this depression and all the other things. So not making excuses, because I am the one the one thing I can control in my life is what the hell I put in my mouth. And I'm not doing a very good job of that. But, when you have a voice inside your head that's telling you that it doesn't matter, that you don't matter, that things don't matter, that, all you care about is your depression, it's really hard to come back from that. And anybody that's suffered from depression or anxiety knows what I'm talking about. Because when you don't feel like you're worth it, or that things are worth it, or there's no worth in your life, it's really hard to stick to something that's supposedly good for you. So anyway, I'm rambling, I feel like. So as far as a weight loss go, I don't have one. I'm not setting any kind of number goal. I just want my weight to go down. I have been dealing with a lot of inflammation, and a lot of edema. My eye is jumping. In my body. So I know that when I do step on the scale, and if I've lost weight, it's going to be mostly water weight. And that's because I've been, I've had carbs every meal for the last 2 weeks, and carbohydrates are absolutely a trigger for me for edema and inflammation. So again, doing it to myself, but hopefully I'm cognizant enough now to know that that's not a good idea, and I just need to get over it. So yeah. So if you want to join with me, feel free. Like I said, I am tracking for the most part. I don't know if that I'll track every day or track every meal over on MyFitnessPal. But again, if I know that I'm having, like, if I were to have vegetables today or whatever, I want to make sure that I'm not going to go over my 20 grams of carbs. As for anything else, the only thing that I have in my refrigerator that is somewhat sweet is I made some low carb pudding. So basically, instead of using milk, you use heavy cream with a box of instant sugar-free pudding. And I made some of that, and I have some of that in the refrigerator. Now, I don't eat a whole bunch of it at a time. I'll eat maybe 2 or 3 spoonfuls. So it's something that can, satisfy if I have, a sweet tooth, which I rarely don't. I'm more of a carbohydrate kind of girl, like a savory girl. Like, give me chips and queso any day, but a potato, pasta. I don't have a huge sweet tooth, but give me something else and I'm a happy girl. So, but yeah, so let me guys know in the comments down below how you're doing. Thanks to everyone that continues to reach out. I really appreciate it. So yeah, so that's it, guys. I will see you. I'm going to post this first, and then I'll post my full day of eating from yesterday. That way you guys can kind of know what the hell is going on. But yeah, like I said, I'm just filming my meals. There's really no fluff in between. So they may be, 2 to 5 minutes long. It's just something quick, something fast, for me to share what's going on. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.